So it all started off back in high school when I was I guess a senior. You could say I was very heavily involved. Like, I was president of my class, the National Honor Society president, and editor-in-chief of my newspaper. So I had a lot of friends, and like I knew a lot of people, and I had a huge support system for who I was. And I came here, and like a majority of the people were completely different than me. So I thought to myself I would start off by acting someone completely different than myself, and it just kind of went downhill from there. And I got extremely homesick, and it's obviously a touchy subject, and like I never really like to think back to it because it reminds me of like one of the weakest points in my life. There was this one night during the weekend that happened where I was alone because both my roommates decided to leave for the weekend to go home. I get a slip under my door, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I go and look at it, and it read out loud like, fuck you for reporting us. And it was basically one of those things where the people next door to me were written up, and they thought that I reported them for being too loud. And that was literally the last straw. I decided to sift through some drawers, and I remembered that my parents bought me a case of Tylenol that I never touched. Like, it was like a huge pack of Tylenol. I don't know how many was in there, like probably like, I think like 50 or 60, I'm not too sure. But I decided to put it on the table and seriously contemplate whether or not I wanted to still be here. And it was difficult because I didn't want to go home. It was hard for me to ever consider going back and how disappointed people would have thought of me. So I thought the only way to go at this point was to commit suicide or to like end my life. I laid the pills out on the table, and I took two because I had a headache, but I decided to leave it on the table, and it was a good 2-3 hours of seriously contemplating whether or not I wanted to do it. And I thought to myself, why not call my RA and tell her what's going on? And I honestly feel that if I didn't call her, I don't know if I would be sitting here, or I wouldn't know for sure where I would have been. It was just one of the lowest points of my life, and I never want to be put into that situation again where I didn't necessarily know if life was better, or dying was better than living a life of being just sad and depressed and lonely.